What's up, team? Hey, David here, and welcome back to another episode of Quarantine Catch Up. And I am joined by the esteemed, the incomparable, the mobility mayor, the mayor of mobility, the international man of relocation, Mr. William Taylor. William, my man, what is up?
What's up, David? Nice to be with you, man.
How
Thanks
you
for having
feeling?
me.
Great to see your face. I
I
wish I
was
could
waiting
reach
for
out
some.
and touch you right now.
I was waiting for some more adjectives there, but
That's all I
I
got.
think that was the nice stuff. Thanks for keeping it PG-13 on
Yeah,
that
you're
one.
welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, well,
Thanks.
we were talking off camera before, and I'm excited to talk to you because you and I, we're on the circuit together. We
Yeah,
travel, we cross paths a lot around the country at different regionals or big
totally.
conferences and different things. But I'm really interested and looking forward to getting to know you even better, going a little bit deeper. I was telling you earlier that I really want to use this as a platform to go a little bit deeper with people, not only to stay in touch, obviously, because we
Yeah.
can't get in touch physically these days, and so I'm looking forward to getting in touch with you. And that sounds a little bit weird, but getting in touch with you and learning more about
reach
you,
out,
William.
reach out and touch somebody, buddy, and
Yes,
that
that's right.
that person could be me, and
Feel
it could
the
be
love.
virtually right now.
Feel
I'm
the
good
love.
with that. It's,
Okay.
it's all
So
good,
we'll
buddy.
get
You know,
into
I always
your
love
career.
our
We'll get into
connections. Yeah,
your career progression here a little bit.
yeah,
Currently you're the head of strategic partnerships for Velocity. I'm excited to
yeah.
hear what you guys are doing. You guys are doing some really cool stuff. But I want to get to know you a little better here personally. So with my first episode of Quarantine Catch Up, we did what we call the Fast Five. So five not so hard hitting questions, aimed
Okay.
to get to know you little bit better. So instead of burying the lead, as they say in the biz, what we're going to do is we're going to kick it off with the Fast Five. Are you ready?
I'm ready, David.
All
Hit
right,
me
bring
up.
it
What
on.
do you got, buddy?
Okay, so question
Okay.
number one. This is going to tell us a lot about you, William. If
Okay.
you could choose an actor, there's a movie that's being based on William Taylor's life. You could choose an actor to play William Taylor. Who is that going to be?
Man, I would probably go with Clooney or Brad Pitt.
Classic.
You know,
Just like a
just good
hybrid of
looking
two.
guy. Who doesn't love those guys? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, I
Brad,
could get a hybrid of the two.
Brad
Yeah.
Clooney. Okay, got it.
Brad, Brad Clooney. Yes.
Okay, all right, that's your answer. Final answer.
Oh,
Great.
that was easy. Okay. I don't even have to give any background on that one. Good.
All right.
Speaks for itself. Done.
Okay. To question number two. Question number two. A little more serious. Not your favorite
Yeah.
book, but what is a book that you would give to someone else? If you had to give a book, recommend a book to someone, what is a book you would give to someone?
Wow, man. When I was in high school, I read every book that Kurt Vonnegut ever wrote.
Hmm.
And so I would probably give them, if they had never read any Vonnegut book, I would probably give them Slaughterhouse-Five or Breakfast of Champions.
Okay.
Honestly, all of his works are phenomenal.
Okay.
My favorite author of all time.
Okay.
Check them out. Yeah.
Duly noted. Duly noted. Okay. Number three. So a little more lighthearted on this one. Are you familiar with Would You Rather questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
All
know,
right. So you've got.
totally. I've played some of those games in college, I think.
Okay,
From what
we're
I
going to
recall.
keep it.
There may have been shots involved.
Here, William. So get your mind out of the gutter. But would
It's
you
difficult
rather,
for me, David.
yes. Okay. Would you rather have unlimited international first class plane tickets for the rest of your life,
Okay.
or would you rather have to pay for food, or excuse me, not pay for food in restaurants for the rest of your life? Never have a restaurant bill for the rest of your life. Plane tickets, restaurant bills.
I would probably go restaurant bills.
Ooh,
I'm a bit
okay.
of a foodie. I
More of a
live in a
foodie.
foodie
All
town
right.
in San Francisco. So many great places to eat.
Okay.
Love good food. Love spending time with friends over good food. Much as I've had the benefit of flying first class a few times, not internationally, but all of my business travel last year, I was getting bumped up all the time after
Yeah.
many thousands of miles. Just happens. You don't even know it, right?
Right.
But I mean, yeah, it's nice, but I lived in coach for 45 years, so it's fine as well.
You could slum it with the rest of us, I guess.
I could slum it, with the peanuts and pretzels and coach. Yeah.
All right. Perfect. All right. Good to know. All right. Cool. A little bit of a foodie, William. Okay. All right. Question number four. All right. Question number four. Other than relocation and mobility, if you had to start all over, what career do you think you would go into? If you could choose any career,
Wow.
no limitations.
No limitations, man. I would probably want to be a designer.
Hmm. A
I
designer
don't
for
know
what?
what I would design.
Okay.
Designing houses, designing furniture, just designing something, I've always had a desire to just have those creative skills. We all have our own creative skills,
Yeah, yeah.
at certain one side of the brain or the other. Um, but yeah,
So do you? So
I would love to have those abilities, man. I don't. I wish I
okay, I
did.
was just
I
gonna
mean,
ask. So
I could draw the most beautiful stick figure you'll ever see. But that's about it when it comes to design. Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I have something a little similar, kind of in the same vein. So I love music. I love you know
Yeah.
going to live music, and I have a really eclectic musical taste. But
Nice,
I
man.
am a
Yeah.
terrible singer. I mean, I'm a terrible singer. My
Come
mom,
on, buddy.
I know.
I'm taking you back to Omaha last year. I saw you singing karaoke, buddy. I've got it on video.
That's true. That's a good point. Okay, I've outperformed. I think yeah. But that's a good. We'll get into that later, William. That's a tease.
Yeah.
Okay. But
All right. All
I
right.
don't. I'm not a good singer. This is a true story. My mom, growing up in church, she
Yeah.
purposely like sang louder than me, drowned me out, so others around us could not hear me sing. That's a true story. Yeah. You're, this
Wow,
episode is
man.
about you, but you're getting a peek into my soul right now.
I
Okay.
like it, man. I like it. All right. I've got
Okay.
one fast five question for you.
Yeah.
Would you rather? No, I'm not even going to go there.
Okay.
Okay. If you had to be who would you be if you could pick one of your favorite singers? If you could be that person,
Ooh, if I could be that person, just solely
and
based on like
just
musical ability or just anything?
musical abilities, musical ability. Yeah.
I'm a big John Mayer fan. I like
Okay.
John Mayer a lot. Yeah,
Awesome.
and he
Super
seems like
talented
kind of a
guy.
jerk,
Yeah.
but I think he's matured a lot. I think he doesn't seem like a great family guy, which I am a family man,
That's true.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like his music. I think he's got a funny sense of humor. So okay, I'll go with John Mayer.
Well, we got to separate the stars from their personal life sometimes, man.
Yeah, that's true.
We hold
That's
them on
true.
pedestals, but
Can you
they're
separate?
imperfect creatures. Yeah.
Yeah, can you separate the
Yeah.
art from the artist? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Number
Last
5.
question. All right, last question of our fast five. Number 5. All right, you're just coming out of Boston University. Okay, you've just graduated. You're
Yeah.
23 years old. What advice do you give to
Yeah.
23-year-old William? It could be anything.
God, my advice would have been, why did you get a history and an art history degree? What the hell were you thinking? You
That's not
should have
advice.
talked to
It's more
someone. You,
yeah, criticism.
no, you know what? My advice to that, which I actually took to heart, largely due to my wife, was to just be open to adventures, be open to
Hmm,
new ideas and new adventures, and yeah, I was fortunate to meet my wife at Boston University,
yeah.
and I mean, I Boston was the biggest move I had ever made because I grew up in Detroit. I grew up in the suburbs of Detroit, and went to a state school in Michigan for a few years and had an advisor who encouraged me to go out of state. I was looking to transfer. I was really fascinated with early American history. Boston obviously played a role in that. So I'd never been to Boston, got accepted to Boston University, and off I went. And
Wow.
then I met my wife, and she had, spent time overseas. Her stepfather was in the State Department, and she had done a lot of traveling. And so as we got to know each other and finally moved to San Francisco, she was like, "Hey, we should go teach English in Asia. We should go travel in India." And I was like, "I don't even have a passport. What are you talking about?" And so we finally we took a class to become certified teachers of English as a foreign language, with a plan to go teach English in Indonesia in the late 90s, and then travel in India and Nepal and Thailand and Laos and Cambodia. And I remember telling my mom and dad that I was going to go to India, and my mom cried. She was like, "No, don't go." And I was like, "No, there's a billion people that live there. It's going
Yeah,
to be
yeah, yeah.
fine. Dina's been there before."
We'll
And it
survive.
was an amazing, I mean, eye-opening adventure. And honestly, that's advice I would give to anyone as they're graduating from high school is leave America, go
Mhm.
see what
Yeah.
the rest of the world is like. And not just Europe. Europe's a beautiful place, amazing, beautiful art and culture and history. But go see Asia, go see South America, go see Africa. And I have been super blessed to have had a chance to visit many of those places, and for me, life changing.
Yeah.
life-altering experiences, man.
I love the idea of like going to places with people that don't look like you too, and
Oh man.
building relationships and getting immersed in that culture for sure, man. That's great advice.
Oh man, there were many small little villages in India where we got off a train or a bus, and I mean, I'm a white and pink guy, and you can
Can
imagine the
identify
number
with
of
that.
people. Yeah, you're mostly white and pink, and you can imagine the crowds of people that would encircle me and just like touch my skin and touch my cheeks and ask if I was wearing makeup. And I mean, I had one guy, probably the funniest thing anyone ever said to me. I was in India with my wife. We were traveling there for about 7 months, and we got off. We were backpacking. Got off this bus, and this guy came up and said, "Oh, which country?" And we said, "Oh, I'm from America." And he said, "You look like Michael Jackson." And I was like, no, I actually don't look a thing like Michael Jackson. I don't know what magazines
What
you're reading, but I don't look.
did
Maybe
he?
back in the day, it could have
Yeah.
been, back when Michael was, I don't know.
So, William, you've done this before because you just had like the most amazing segue, because that's really what I wanted to get into about was, kind of your early beginnings and what kind of exposed you, to, traveling and, this
Yeah.
industry of relocation and mobility. Let's backtrack just a little bit. So you were
Yeah.
born in Detroit?
Yeah. Born in
Okay.
Detroit and born in a hospital in
Siblings
Detroit. My
or,
parents, one of four kids. So I have two
wow,
sisters and a brother. I'm
where
number
do you
three.
fall in that
Yeah.
order?
Third. Yeah.
Okay.
My siblings were all close in age.
Okay.
Um, in fact, my mother had three miscarriages, and the third one was a tubular pregnancy. One of her tubes burst, and the doctor told her she would never have kids.
Mm,
And her and my father were they married young in their early 20s, and they were really wanted to build a family, and spent many years, and they just thought they were never going to have kids. And then my
well, that was
mother's father.
before she even had her first.
Yeah, and then I
Oh
think
wow.
it was about 7 or 8 years, actually 9 years into their marriage, my mother's father passed away. My mother was a very religious person,
Mm,
and about a month or two after her father passed away, she was pregnant with my brother, and then she gave birth to four kids in a span of almost about 5.5, 6 years. So we're
wow.
all super close in age. And
Wow.
for her, her mother had always told her that sometimes in life you have to give up something you love to get something you love.
Mm,
But she thought that when she lost her father, that gave her the power to then have kids, because she was never going to have kids.
mm.
So it's a
Wow.
miracle.
And then it
Yeah,
ended up having four. That's
four
beautiful.
of them. Yep.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I was her favorite. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
You have that in writing.
Yeah.
It's a certificate.
I do. I have.
um, so remind me again, you said you have how many sisters and brothers?
Two
I got
sisters and
two sisters and one
older
brother.
sister, older brother, and a younger sister.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Are they spread around the country? Or are they still in Michigan?
My brother lives out in the Bay Area.
Oh,
He
cool.
moved out here, gosh, maybe 12 years ago,
Oh,
and
wow.
my in the East Bay.
Yep.
And I have two sisters who live back in the Metro Detroit area, just
Okay.
outside of Detroit. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Right on.
In
Right
fact,
on.
we were all supposed to meet up. We were supposed to have a family trip going into northern Michigan this summer in a couple of weeks. We're going to spend some time on the lake and enjoy some Michigan summer weather. I love it. Love the Midwest. As
Yeah.
crazy as it sounds, I love humidity. I grew up
Yeah.
with humidity. We don't have it in San Francisco. It's like
You're the only
cool and
person.
windy.
This is a guy coming that lived in Houston for over 12 years.
Oh,
You're the
Jesus,
only
man.
person that says they love humidity. Trust me.
Maybe if I lived in Houston for 12 years, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
saying that. But
If you lived
I
there for
guess
12 days, 12 hours, you would be like, okay, this is good.
yeah. Anyway, so I love spending time back in Michigan with my extended family, and you've probably spent some time in Detroit for the regional group there, and
I never
yeah.
have. I've never been to
Oh, great
Detroit.
group, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
awesome.
probably,
And
one of the major U.S. cities. I don't think I've spent any time in. I can't really think of
you
any
got
other.
to get out there, bud.
I know.
Yeah,
I
go
know.
visit our
And,
friends over at Quicken Loans and some of the other folks we all know in the
yeah,
industry.
of course.
It's a great city, and what you find about Detroiters is they have a lot of hometown pride.
Mm, yeah.
They love their city. Detroit's been through a lot of hard times over the years, but
Resilient.
love that. I'm still a Detroit Lions fan, man. Toughest job in sports.
Wow. I
Man.
feel so bad for you. Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
Oh man. Okay, so you had talked about it earlier, but you ended up going to a state school out of high school, right?
Yep.
What
Eastern Michigan.
transition
Yeah.
for you? You know, why did you want to make the change? I mean, that's a big leap to go to BU, and you've never even been to Boston before. Had you spent any time, like, you know, over there northeast at all?
You know, my family had taken a road trip to New Jersey to visit some relatives of ours. So we had been to New York and Washington, D.C., but I'd never been to Boston. And I was just, I had an advisor in my history department who was really influential. And as I was looking to transfer, I knew I was going to transfer out of Eastern Michigan. My goal was just to start at a smaller state school and then, you know, hit the grades really hard and then transfer somewhere else.
Okay, so
So
you
it
kind
was
of had
gonna,
this roadmap for
yep,
yourself. You knew you wanted to
yep.
transfer out of state.
And it was either Northwestern, University of Michigan, all my siblings went to Michigan State, or BU. And
Yeah,
I got
all
some
good schools.
scholarships and grants. I got a great, and I was like, BU sounds amazing. Boston, let's go. And
Yeah,
that was it. My brother drove me out there. And we drove all night, one night across Canada. And he dropped me in Boston. I didn't know anyone. My first friend I met at the transfer student orientation, he was the guy that sat next to me.
yeah.
And that was it, man.
So was it? I mean, did you jump right in? I mean, was it a tough transition period for you at all, or was it pretty? I mean, knowing you now, you know, I wouldn't think it'd be very hard for you to make friends,
It
but
it wasn't too tough, man. I'm usually not shy striking up a conversation. I talk to, you know, strangers are attracted to me. I don't know why. My wife always
you're
teases me.
you're a
She's like,
beautiful man,
oh,
William. I mean, come on.
I just have a power. I attract
Yes, yes. It's just
weirdos and beautiful people.
magnetic.
I have a sign maybe on my back that says, "Are you crazy? Talk to me." Yeah, I'm crazy too. Uh, yeah, I just, you know, I jumped right in and really enjoyed the classes, had some great professors. I loved my experience in Boston. Made some really good friends. The friends that I made at the transfer student orientation. I actually lived in an off-campus apartment. So I wasn't in one of the dorms because I had spent 2 years in a dorm at Eastern Michigan.
Right.
So I had an older roommate who was a transfer student as well, and we got to be friends. And that was it, man. I made some friends at Berklee College of Music, which was awesome. You know, it's a great school in Boston, and spent a lot. Boston's a great city to just walk around. It's a real
Yeah.
compact city, and I spent many nights and many weekends just wandering around the city and enjoying the beautiful architecture and the parks. And
Sure. Very cool.
fun place, man. Yeah.
So very quickly, you had mentioned your wife earlier, and I mean, just an awesome story of you guys basically just saying, okay, let's go explore the world together. Just give us the Reader's Digest version. How did you guys meet?
We had a couple of classes together, and
Okay.
then we had some mutual friends, and then I went to a birthday party at her house once, and I remember stopping at a gas station on the way, and I'm a high roller when it comes to birthday gifts, and
Okay. Okay.
I bought her a you know, as you usually do, an air freshener at a gas station,
Wow.
and the
You
rest is hit. Here we are, 26 years later, man. It's
you
the
are
secret to
romantic.
success, dude. I
What
really
can I
am.
say?
I've got a collection of air fresheners still in my gut now. And that was it. We got to know each other for 3 or 4 months, and we were in a class together, and that was it, man. But it was really through some mutual friends that brought us together.
That's
And
incredible.
then Dina took us off on these wild adventures, and you know, she had convinced us to go. Well, it didn't take much convincing. It was a great opportunity to just go travel and learn and grow and teach English. We taught English in Vietnam for almost 2 years, traveled a lot in Southeast Asia prior to that. And then this was during the late 90s in the dot-com bubble, the first dot-com bubble.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of friends that were working for, I don't know, dogfood.com, pets.com, and I'd email them. This was in the early Hotmail days.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you do? And they'd say, I don't do anything, but I make 150 grand a year to sit here. And I'm like, that sounds great. Can I
Pretty
get
good
one of
deal.
those jobs? Yeah, that was awesome, man. And of course, we all know how that story ended. But I came back in 1999 and got a job at a company called Macromedia,
Mm.
which, you know, you guys probably remember from Flash and Dreamweaver. And Macromedia ultimately got acquired by Adobe. And I was the assistant to the head of recruiting, the VP of talent. So I was brought in to literally clean up her desk and make some spreadsheets and organize the hundreds of agreements that she had in place with different contracting agencies and staffing agencies.
And
And a
was
few
that
weeks later, they said, yeah.
and was
A few
that
weeks later, they said,
go
go
ahead, sir.
ahead, go ahead. I was going to say, they asked me if I wanted to be part of the college recruiting team. So I said, yeah, I'd love to. What's college recruiting? So I did that for about a year, helped run the college recruiting program, traveled around a bit to the big engineering schools. And then the crash happened,
Mm,
1999, 2000, late 99, 2000.
mhm.
So the VP of talent said, well, you can have no job or you can learn immigration because we have all these foreign nationals on visas and we need to take care of them and maintain their visas and get them green cards. And so that was it, man. We didn't call it mobility. We call it immigration and relocation.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Did you, so at what point did you physically make the move to San Francisco? Was it for that
It was
role?
after college, 1995. My wife and I, we got tired of winter. We
Yeah.
said, we're moving to the sunshine. So we drove across the country, camped out at a bunch of parks, and had a friend who lived in Oakland, slept on our friend's floor for like 6 weeks, came into the city every day, looked at apartments, and finally got a place just before Christmas 1995.
Awesome. So did you have
Yeah.
that job before you moved, or did you move without a job?
No, no. Started out, I worked at Trader Joe's. I worked at some coffee shops. I worked a bunch of temp jobs.
Yeah.
I
Just
worked at some
hustling.
mortgage companies and just trying to save money to go travel overseas. Yeah. And
Yeah.
when we left the U.S. in 1997, I think between the two of us, we had less than $5,000 in our bank account. And we traveled for about a year on $4,500 for two people.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
And then
awesome.
we taught English. Yeah.
That's incredible. So, okay. So you make this transition from recruiting to immigration. At that time, when you get into immigration, are you thinking, okay, this is just kind of a stepping stone? I really liked recruiting. I want to get back to there at some point. Did you see yourself staying in immigration for a while? Did you have even a plan at that point?
What was really powerful for me was that I had just come back from spending a lot of time in Asia, with a big chunk of that in India. So my wife and I did a huge circuit in India for 7 months.
Hmm.
And so um, many of the foreign nationals, that particularly the ones that work in the tech industry, are Indian nationals. There's a large percentage of foreign national visa holders who are Indian nationals. It's a numbers game. India has 1 billion people, right? And China has 1 billion people. They tend to be heavy users of the work visa programs. So I had an instant connection with them because I had been to many of their hometowns. And so for me, it was like this really joyful process of connecting with people and talking about their places where they were born, and saying, oh yeah, I was just there a year ago. And then being able to help them. And really for me, it was that personal impact, which this is what drives so many people in our industry, is seeing the impact that we make for these people. And in those, the people that I supported back in the early days, in the late 1990s and early 2000s, I'm still in touch with them.
Mm,
They send me Christmas cards, and we connect on LinkedIn, and they email me, and I check in, and we're connected on Facebook, and I see how their family's doing. And for me, that's nothing could be better in life, to know that you made a positive impact on someone's life.
that's fantastic. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So did you just have kind of, increasing roles of responsibility at Adobe? Is that how you eventually
Yeah.
got to,
That was it, man. The program at Macromedia grew in complexity, more international assignments. I owned Immigration Tax Relo, and was just a one-man show for many, many years. And then we were acquired by Adobe 2005, and I took over the program. At that time, I had started law school. I was going to law school at night.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you
And
that. So what
yeah.
what was the driver for that?
The company, I just was so interested in immigration law. I had a great mentor, who's now a partner at PwC Law in Toronto, my friend Monica, and she just encouraged me. And she said, you know this really, really well. You know this better than most junior attorneys I work with. So you should go. And law school had always been top of mind for me. I was interested when I was younger in law school. I actually worked at the Boston University Law School,
Mm,
and sort of hated the professors and hated the students, so it turned me off. I was an undergrad at the time, so you can understand.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and so that was it. It was a weird road that brought me back to the pursuit of law, and ended up going to law school for 4 years at night.
Well,
Both companies had a great. A lot of companies have these educational assistance plans where
mm,
if you pursue a degree that's related to your field of endeavor, then the company pays X number of dollars towards the degree.
sure.
So I finished law school with $0 in debt, which is just unheard of.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I was
That's
very
pretty awesome.
fortunate.
At this point in your life, when you're going through law school at night, uh, are your daughters are in the picture now? Are they or
No, I thank God I didn't have. I would come home. I would go to work, and then I'd go to school and get home
yeah,
at 10 o'clock at night, and my wife would be asleep on the couch.
yeah, yeah.
So, the first few years were rough, and then you find your groove, and you get into it, and then 4 years is done, and yeah. and then actually took some time off after law school. I went to take the bar, and my wife and I had just been burnt out from working and doing the law school thing, and she had been working her tail off, and so we decided to go to South America. So we moved to South America. We moved to Argentina,
Wow.
and
See, if we were
yeah,
not having this conversation right now, I would never know that. I had no
2 years in Argentina, man. So
I had no idea. So what did you
to
do
study
down
Spanish. Mostly just ate steak and drank wine. And my older daughter was born in Buenos Aires.
there? Wow, I
Uh,
had no
yeah,
idea.
yeah. I mean,
Very
it was
cool.
just we went to study Spanish and just take a break. And at that point, I was many years into. I was 12 years into my mobility career,
Yeah.
and my wife was well into her career in educational technology. And we both felt like, the current model is work your entire life and then retire, and then you're sort of, you're hopefully you're healthy enough to go enjoy that time.
Right.
Whereas there should be moments in your life where you have enough of experience that it's less risky to take some time away and say, let's go have this adventure.
Mm.
So it was meant to be a 6-month adventure. It turned out to be 2 years. We
Yeah.
studied Spanish. We did a little bit of work for a company down there. Had a baby. Spent the first year of my daughter's life just hanging out with her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And
That's
then the money ran out and we had to come back. So
well, I was gonna say, so was that always the plan to, one, get back to San Francisco, and two, to get back into mobility?
yeah, I was still close to the folks at Adobe. I was close to the VP of talent, and I sort of knew what was going on there. When um, I left the program to two HR general. I was a one-person shop, if you will, and the program got turned over to two HR generalists
Mm,
who very quickly appreciated the complexities of mobility.
sure.
I think our industry, I've said this many times, the people in our industry make it look easy. The service providers make it. This is a incredibly complex dance between many key partners and corporate partners that make it happen every day.
Yeah.
And it becomes, we start to see the complexities when things start to get challenging and maybe fall apart, and we come in to resolve them. But we've missed an opportunity to really help the business leaders understand that what we do is not only really a key part of the talent strategy, but it's really complex, really
Right.
difficult, and we're here to make it easy and make it this phenomenal employee experience. And that's what I love about it. We're kind of the underdogs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, it's really
Nothing wrong with that.
interesting. I'm sure there's other industries that are like this, I would think, but even just in the household goods piece, which is what we do, I mean, our supply chain is extremely complex as far as
Oh gosh,
the
man.
different parties involved, and kind of different people that would touch the shipment. I mean, and then you just look across the whole,
Oh,
suite of services. I mean, super complex.
absolutely, man. It's an amazing industry that we're privileged to work in, and it's a really complex dance. And it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch the industry evolve and to see new players come along and to see programs evolve and
Hmm.
new talent. And I think, and again, missed opportunity for us to attract some younger folks. That's why I've enjoyed seeing you. I'm like, here's this young guy who right out of college, joined a transportation household goods provider.
Right.
I mean, what if you had a chance to do it all again? You could be anything in your life. What would you be?
Man, you know,
And you can't say household goods.
yeah, yeah. I don't think I would. You know, no limitations whatsoever. I wouldn't mind like trying my hand at, sports broadcasting.
All right.
If I was like 23 years old, I'm 35 now, so I've been with my 13-year anniversary. It was actually last week.
Nice.
With transportation
Congrats,
worldwide.
buddy.
It's
Yeah.
wild. Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Yeah, but it's wild to think about that. But yeah, if I had to maybe do it all over again, it's just such a tough racket. There's so many talented people out there, of course, and you have to like, go be like the sports guy at like, I don't know, middle of nowhere, Montana, for a year.
North Dakota
Before you,
State. Yeah.
yeah, before you can work your way up, kind of thing. And so that's not super feasible right now with a wife and two children. So, but
Yeah.
I don't know if we're dreaming here, William, dreaming big, maybe that's what I would do. But
Well,
yeah,
it's never too late. Although you've made a big name for yourself in this industry, man. And I love that you've gone out and what were you calling yourself when you were doing all the posts for the ERC, Deputy Dave?
Okay, so I wasn't calling myself that.
Maybe we were calling you Deputy
Someone
Dave.
dubbed me Deputy Dave. Okay, there's no. Yeah, I'm trying to be a little humble here.
Yeah. All right. So. It's an endearing nickname, buddy. It's all because people love
I'll
you.
take it. I'll take it. Yeah. Okay, so let's finish up here, and we got so much to talk about, man. And I want to do this again with you and dive even deeper. But let's talk about your current role at Velocity. You know, what attracted you to our good friend Klaus and Velocity?
You know what it was, man, is for those who've had the benefit or pleasure of meeting Klaus, he's an incredibly passionate guy. He believes in the vision. And when he explained the model, and I was just like, oh my gosh, at that time I was practicing immigration law, but I wanted to go back to being a corporate mobility professional because I wanted to have a chance to bring that into my program at Adobe. Mm-hmm. And it was this desire to be part of innovation in our industry. Having been in the industry at that point for, 18, 19, 20 years, I just wanted to be part of something new and something fresh and something innovative. And, the other side of the story was immigration was really stressful. And it's been increasingly challenging for immigration managers and immigration practitioners for many, many years, not just under the current administration, but the goalposts were always moving. The Trump administration just removed the goalposts entirely, and you're just like, what sport are we playing now? We have no idea. So it was just that the desire to do something new, the chance to join a great company that was growing really quickly and bringing an innovative approach to this particular space in the industry, and to be able to work with a great leader. Klaus, I've learned so much from that guy. He and I are great friends, and he's built a phenomenal executive team, and I learn from all of them every day. So, I've learned you join companies because of the leaders, because you believe in the vision and the product and the service, but you stay because of the leadership.
Sure. Yeah. No, absolutely.
And for me, that's what it's been all about, man. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So, head of strategic partnerships, I'd have to imagine that, business development is a big part of your role. Did you always see yourself, kind of in a sales role, like, starting out in your career? Or, it's interesting because you do see that from time to time where someone goes from the corporate side and then goes to the other side of the desk. I mean, obviously, because you've built a great network and relationships. And, was that an easy transition for you at all, or did you struggle with that?
No, I struggled early on, man. I struggled as an attorney, and I still struggle these days. I mean, it's something I learn. I get better at every day. Mm-hmm. My older sister is in sales. She's been in sales her whole life. My younger sister as well is in sales, business development. My brother is an engineer, but he's in a leadership position now, and he's ultimately in account management and sales at his construction management firm.
Yeah.
And so, I guess it was a skill that I had never tapped into, other than selling the dream, man. I was selling the dream as a mobility professional. I mean, look, when you work in mobility, you're a key partner to the talent team. And I was fortunate that I worked with a great VP at Adobe who appreciated that and always positioned mobility as, he called us, the secret sauce. And he would tell his talent partners, if you can't close the candidate and they've got an assignment, or bring in William and his team and they will close them for you.
Wow.
And so that was a great relationship and a great partnership. And we were selling the benefits of not only the package, but the chance to work for this amazing company. I mean, sure. I'm so fortunate to have spent so many years at Adobe, one of the best companies in the world, and many good friends that I still have.
Yeah.
I still keep in touch with from
and
my old team.
Yeah, I was going to say, and one thing I really appreciate about you, William, is I think you and I are similar in this way, where it's like, I'm not, when I'm selling, I'm not trying to get someone to sign on the dotted line, before I leave the room. I'm building a relationship with someone, and that's where I admire you, and I try to, emulate that. Is you're so great at building relationships with people. I mean, that's what really drives it. I mean, yes, the sales cycle is long, or it can be, depending on the opportunity and what's going on. But ultimately, it's going to be worth it in the end, because I mean, it's built on trust, it's built on credibility, it's built on your relationship.
100% correct, man. And this industry is all about the relationship. It's a small industry. We all know each other. Either we've met each other, or we know the name, and it's there's no 6 degrees Kevin Bacon. There's like 2 degrees. It's like David Bonnell, William Taylor, and then everybody else, right? So that's kind of the nice part about our industry. And even you've been at so many events where you see folks who are competing for the same business, but they're all friends.
Right.
And again, I know we've said that a million times, but I just think there's very few industries where you have that sort of an ecosystem where people just feel like we're all in it together, and there's plenty of business out there, there's plenty of opportunity, and we all like to see each other win. Whether even people that are competing for the same business ultimately like to see those people win.
Yeah,
so,
no doubt. Well said.
That's pretty cool, man.
Well said. Well, William, I really do appreciate you joining me, man. Thanks so much. Looking forward to catching up with you again. And hopefully we'll do this again soon. For William Taylor, I'm David Bunnell. Great catching up with you guys.